Good morning, this is Daniel from Leaders in Training. I'm once again bringing you more great content, showing one of our leaders. All right, this gentleman is 50% of the Merch Monger brand, a Chicago-based t-shirt business. I thought it'd be great if I brought him to you. I know a lot of people are dibbling and dabbling in t-shirt making, but this gentleman right here, his product, him and his partner, they putting out some great content. And here we go, I'm gonna show you some things. All right, so March 16th, that's the day that I'll never forget. That's the day in which me personally, I had to work from home due to the pandemic. A lot of people adjusted during this time. Some people were not able to adjust. But this gentleman right here that I'm going to introduce to you, he took his business not just from where he was in his space, but here he is in his house. So we are doing this interview here in his house. But it's just letting my leaders know, my future leaders know, just how to adapt. And this young man right here, he did it. Him and his partner had to begin their business from home. Hey, how you doing, sir?
Good.
All right.
Thanks for having me.
No problem. So this is Brandon Stevens, one of the co-founders of Merch Monger Apparel. He's going to talk to us today about just from the beginning, how did it start? You see me kind of like in his at-home workstation here. He got his, screens up. Got his press. We look at some of his merch. Okay. But as always, we also want to start from the dream, right? How did it start? What the vision? What did he write down first? Those type of things. All right, Brandon. So as we just discuss a little bit more about the origin of Merch Monger, you also mentioned the double M. So could you explain that for me, please?
Yeah. So when we were, trying to start this thing, we went through a series of it was trial and error, trying to get a name, a strong name, with any business that's popular, that catches on. You want to have a name that's strong, easy to say, easy to remember. So you think of like the Coca-Colas, you think about the M&Ms. So for us, naturally having Merch and Monger together, we thought it would be easy to remember. We thought it was catchy. We thought, to help people just remember our brand.
Okay. So as you mentioned, like kind of keeping it catchy, could you speak to maybe some other brand names, to kind of get those catchy names, maybe that utilize that, even the double M, so to speak?
Yeah. So of course you have the candy everyone loves, M&Ms, right?
Okay.
Who doesn't know that name or recognize that brand? I mentioned Coca-Cola.
Right.
They're double C's, but just having the double first letter, I think
like Blue Magic.
Like Blue Magic, there you go. But yeah, just having that double M, we thought it'll give us the strongest opportunity to put a brand out there that's recognizable, that's easy to say, that's memorable. So that's how Merch Monger came from. Yeah, so Alex and I, I'll take it back to how we met. So we actually met, we attended the same college a long time ago. So we met, we attended North Park University here in Chicago. So how the business came about, towards the latter part of last year, I was actually sharing some logos, because I actually do, on the side, I do logos, stationery. I'm a graphic artist on the side. So I was sharing some of my graphic art works on Instagram. And he actually, he hit me up, man, like, he had this good idea. He thought, he had this idea for a clothing line. And myself, having a clothing line, a clothing brand is something I've always aspired to do. But where I struggled with was how to get the customer to connect with the brand. So he pitched his idea of having a Chicago-inspired, holiday-inspired clothing brand. And I thought it made sense at the time. So that's how Merch Monger started. We went from a series of sitting down trying to, come up with a name for the brand. So that we eventually settled on Merch Monger. We drafted, we sketched, we mocked up some clothes for St. Patrick's Day was our initial release. So we had some holiday themed apparel around St. Patrick's Day. From there, we then expanded to the Chicago apparel, and here we are today.
Okay. All right. So you said you started with, you sketched kind of, well, we're talking about partnerships. So I think just from what I hear you saying, I was in college, and just kind of formed, you saw some qualities within each other, and then of course it was the reconnection through social media. So social media does work.
It does.
All right, so what I hear you saying, as you were speaking, you talk about, of course, you have a partner. You talked about good leaders listen.
Yeah.
So when you think about partnerships, how does that play out? Like you being a good listening partner.
Yeah. So Yeah, in the case of Alex and I, my background, I'm the artist, right? So I do the designs. I come up with a lot of the logos and all that kind of stuff. He's more so on the business side. So in a business like ours, like one of the biggest challenges is how to fulfill our orders, like who's actually manufacturing the products, right? Mm-hmm. So when we started initially, that was one of our biggest challenges. So Alex, being that he's on the business side, he was helpful in that.
All right, so you're your partner. It seems like you both know the role. Like you said, you're the artist, he's the businessman, and but at some point, the artist and the business will meet.
Yes.
So when you all come together, if there's ever a time, or so when, I'm sure it will happen, to say when you all may disagree, how does that work? Like when you all kind of get to your creative, confusion, so to speak.
Yeah, that's a good question. So even just going back to when we started the business, right? So it took probably 2 months before we even launched the website. So we went through a lot of trial and error there. I had an opinion about how this should look or function on the website. He had other opinions, even with regards to our logo, how that looks. If it's ever a point, if it's something that we're conflicting on the design or the way something is set up on our website or anything like that, we go to a third party, right? We utilize our network, people that are kind of in our industry or outside of our industry, people that we can trust and rely and respect their opinion. We would, if it's a t-shirt design that we're conflicting on, we'll send it out. Like, what do you think about this design? What do you think about the way the website looks? We didn't want to just leave it to our own idea or thought, or we wanted just to get that outside opinion on, how things are looking.
Okay. So in that part of that process, like you said, if you all ever come kind of stumped, so to speak, that third party, you said it kind of assist you with the process, or at least can help you talk you through it a little bit.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. It's always good just to get, at least I think so. It's always good to get an outside opinion anyway in our industry. Mm-hmm. Like we can't, we might think it's hot, but at the end of the day, the customers, it's up to what they like. So we like to, utilize our network. Right. So I just wanted to show you all my workstation. So this is where I do all the designs, where all the magic happens, I guess you can say. For starters, where we actually go through and make our designs, we use Adobe Illustrator. So that's what I did here. At some point, this started in Adobe Illustrator. And then, after the fact, you want to get an idea of how it'll look, right, on a t-shirt or on a hoodie, whatever garment you're printing to. So from there, you can take it into Adobe Photoshop and actually do a mock-up. So this is where we go to see how the end product will look once it's all done. So from there, I wanted to show you all our website, merchmonger.com, merchmonger.com. Once you're here, you'll see our landing page. Right now, we're running a Labor Day sale through the weekend. So it's important you want to kind of, in our business at least, you kind of want to have promotions, things of that nature, sales. When it's being that we're a holiday business, we can kind of tailor it around certain holidays as to when we run those promos. So on the site, we have adult sizes available. We have selections for women and men right now. We have, as I mentioned, Chicago. We have some St. Patrick's Day stuff. We have Unity. We have some stuff for Juneteenth. Go through and check us out at merchmonger.com. We're also available on Etsy, etsy.com. You can find us at Merchmonger Goods. That's all one word on Etsy. And we have a few of our product offerings available there as well. When we initially started, we worked on our website for about a month or so, and we skimmed it top to bottom. Like we even had some outside people kind of give it a look over. Mm-hmm. I thought it was ready to go. My business partner Alex thought it was ready to go, but we met with someone that was in the industry. So we took it and we met with a woman within the industry, as I mentioned, and she grilled the thing top to bottom, our website. So from that, we kind of walked away from the experience a little down, I guess you can say, but we did respect her opinion, right? She's been in the industry for some time, so we took that opportunity as an opportunity to work on our website further. So we worked on our product descriptions, we worked on our product images, we worked on just the layout as a whole, and we got it to a good spot to where we are today with merchmonger.com.
Okay. So I know you spoke about she kind of grilled it. She kind of broke it down what was wrong, or places where you can improve.
Yeah.
And I definitely think of my platform as a learning space.
Yeah.
So just to many individuals who want to go into your particular field, of creating product, merchandise, what would be, if a couple good piece of advice for them, maybe that the lady shared with you or that you've learned through this process? What could you probably pour onto the viewers here?
Yeah. I think it's one of the biggest takeaways there is just to be consistent, right? So just an example with our product images, we had a mix of where we were displaying the item with the model, so it actually being worn, and we also had the product itself. So we would have one image with the model, another with just the product, and it conflicts a little bit. So just being consistent. You can go one way, right? You can just have all your product images be with the model, with the item being worn, or you can just do the product itself. But it's important to be consistent, to have a consistent flow throughout your website. The aesthetics, the look and feel should all be in sync. It's important. Yeah.
All right. So as we just a couple more questions, we wrap up here.
Mm-hmm.
As you think about years ago, what advice would you give your younger self as it pertains to just financial advice, business? If you have an idea, what advice would you give your younger self?
Yeah, man, that's a tough question, man. For me, I think just my education, right, about just financial literacy, right? Just starting there.
Mm-hmm.
Just almost wish they taught us a little more in school, but that's another story. But just kind of reading more books in that regard, even as it relates to my industry, just getting more details on industry, the inner workings of the fashion industry. Because I learn new stuff every day, to be honest with you. To have that. Just a knowledge base prior to launching this thing, we could be even further than where we are today. So to my younger self, read more, learn more, utilize your network a little further. Mm-hmm. There may have been people that were already in the business. I could have polled them on the pros and cons of the business and what they know about running a successful business. And, it would have definitely benefited me in the long run.
For all the aspiring clothing, fashion designers out there, one of the things you're going to have to decide on once you get into business is, how you produce your product. For us, when we started, we actually used a third party to print our shirts and everything. But the challenge there was the fulfillment time. One of the biggest, it could take up to 2 weeks sometimes to get a product delivered to our customers. Another big thing, and of course, when you're in business, the goal at the end of the day is to make money, right? So another thing there, they were cutting into a large profit margin from our business. So as we faced those challenges, we decided, we kind of brainstormed what would be our best opportunities to handle the shirts and things of that nature in-house. So here we have a heat press machine. So, and this is just one method to do it in our industry. You can screen print. You can do DTG, direct to garment. We chose the heat press method, and this is an example of heat transfer. So we would just take this and press it out on a t-shirt, and you would get something at the end that looks like this. So as I mentioned, you want to kind of explore what's the best opportunities that you can take home the most pay at the end of the day. So for us, it made sense to cut out the middleman, and here we are today.